Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kortiwada. In this video, we will learn about JavaScript set attribute and get attribute of an element using JavaScript DOM API, and this is my streak 16. This is a continuation of streak 15. Please watch my previous video for better understanding. Let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code. In my previous video, I have explained in few of the cases you cannot assign the values to the properties which will behave like an attribute. So to understand about the properties and the attributes, I'll provide the link in the description. Please watch that for better understanding. In this case, let me go to the demo and let me reload. I gave the element read-only value is true, but in this case if I try to edit this, I'm able to edit, but our expectation is it should not edit as my read-only property is true. Why? Because the read-only property is not actually the property here, it is acting like an attribute. Whenever you have an attribute, you cannot use dot operator. So let me go here how to solve this. Let me use element dot, there is a method called as setAttribute, and set the attribute of read only by using the first parameter we can pass read only and the second parameter is true. Let me save this. In this case, the placeholder is username, value is sample test, and now set attribute with read only as true. Let me go and reload, and if you type something, I'm not able to type or edit this particular field because the read only is applicable for this particular attribute. So by this what we understand is all the attributes, all the properties cannot be assigned directly. Instead, they are called as attributes, and that attributes, if you want to change it, we have to use set attribute. For example, here we are using a value. Instead of using this, I can even use element dot set attribute. So here my value will act like an attribute as well as a property. Let me go here and write value comma sample attribute test. Let me give save and reload. So here you got sample attribute test. So whatever the value which we are passing here, we are getting it. You may be getting a question, if I use property as well as an attribute, what could be the priority? So let me go here and let me uncomment this. Here my property was first assigned and then my attribute was secondly assigned. So what is the output here? Most probably all the people will say that this would be the answer, but actually speaking, the property will take the priority. If you go here and reload, now the sample test is the priority. The first one is the priority. Now let me go here and just paste in the last and save this. Even now in this case you got sample test. By this what we understand is the position of assignment doesn't matter, but whenever you are assigning a property with an attribute as well as value, whenever we are setting the property by using set attribute or by using dot operator, then the dot operator will take the priority. That means a property will take the priority. And let me comment this and let me use get attribute element dot get attribute of, let me get the value attribute and let me save this, go here and reload. So what you got, sample attribute test. This is perfectly all right. For example, I'm using this one as a value, which is a dot operator, which acts like a property, not an attribute. Then in this case, what that get attribute will return? It will return with sample attribute test. So now here we are using a get attribute to get the value. In this case, which one will be triggered and which value will be existing in our get attribute. Actually speaking, we are using a set attribute. Whatever the value which we assigned by using a set attribute, that will be returned in your get attribute. Let me go here and reload. If you see here, sample attribute test was printed. And if I go back and let me comment this, and in this case, if I use get attribute, what could be the output? The output would be something like null. Why? Because there is no attribute present with the value property. There is only the value property which was assigned the value by using a dot operator. In this case, how to assign this value? Whenever we are assigning the value directly by using a dot operator, then you can use element dot value itself. So that will give you the original value, and whenever you get the get attribute, then it will be giving the null value when there is no value for that particular attribute. By this we can say that the property and the attribute will always differ. So whenever you are setting an attribute, it can be get by using get attribute. Whenever giving a value by using a dot operator, then you can access that by using a dot operator. So this is how we can use get attribute and set attribute in JavaScript. So always whenever you are setting a value, use either of the one approach. If you want to set the values by using setAttribute, then always get the values by using getAttribute. And if you want to assign it by using a dot operator, then always remember which is a property, which is an attribute, and then access the values by using dot operator itself. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.